Hey guys, it's Shamsa and welcome back to my little kitchen. Today's recipe takes me straight back to my childhood. I remember my grandma and my mum making this curry for us, and we siblings used to love dunking our hot chapatis into this. This recipe is Ghosht and Shalgam, which is lamb and turnip curry. Now this is traditionally a Pakistani dish, and you know, it's one of those dishes that is really hearty. You've got the mildly spiced lamb in there, and then you've got the chunks of sweet turnips, and the combination of both of them is just fantastic. We absolutely love this, and if you've had this in your childhood, you know, as a kid, then you're gonna love this. Please try the recipe out. You know, it's traditionally served with chapatis. You can have it with rice as well, that's entirely up to you, but it's fantastic. Now, before I try this and tell you guys exactly how it is, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn your bell notifications on for all things cooking, and now the taste test. So I'm just gonna go straight in with the turnips first of all. So here goes, fully cooked but still holding their shape. They melt in your mouth. They've absorbed all of that flavour from that masala, from the spices that we've added. There's a slight heat coming through, but it's perfect, nothing too much. And now for the lamb. The lamb is super tender. So I've got a piece here. I'm just eating it like this. Wow. So fragrant, so aromatic. Absolutely fantastic recipe for you guys to try out. Let me know how you find it in the comments below. And now we're going to start cooking. So the ingredients you're going to need is 650 grams of lamb. This is on the bone, and it's the leg of lamb that I've got here today. I've had it cut into nice chunky pieces, and you can see that there's some marrow showing through, and it's going to add a really nice flavour to the curry. You can use mutton for this recipe if you wanted to. I've also got here 500 grams of turnips. Now turnips are these vegetables here, this root vegetable if you don't know what it looks like, and in Urdu it's called Shalgam, and in Punjabi we call them gonglu. Now these can be purchased from any supermarket, any local Asian superstore shops. I've actually purchased mine from the local Asian shop, and I honestly recommend purchasing them from the local Asian supermarkets or shops because they are smaller in size and they're better than the ones that you find in the supermarkets, because the supermarket ones are slightly bigger. And what you're looking for as well, top tip, mum told me, this bit here should be small and not too big, and that means that the turnips are really good and fresh, and they should be firm. So I've got 500 grams of these. This one I kept to show you. I will actually be peeling them and then taking the top off and just quartering them. If they're slightly bigger in size, just make sure that all the pieces that you cut are same sized, because it will just you know, cook evenly. So that's what you need. I've also got here two small to medium onions which are finely sliced, and these weighed 250 grams. I've got here two tomatoes, again weighing 250 grams. I've just chopped them up roughly. I've got here 1/3 of a cup of oil, which is approximately 80 millilitres, and I have the following spices. I've got half a tablespoon of salt, coriander powder, and Kashmiri chilli powder, which is going to add a really nice flavour and colour, but not the heat. Then I've got 1 teaspoon of regular chilli powder for heat, and the same 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder here, and I'm using 1 frozen piece each of ginger and garlic. Again, if you don't have these frozen cubes, then substitute each cube for 1 tablespoon each of the pesto puree. The next ingredient, which are these bullet chillies, are optional. I add them for colour and also a slight bit of heat. They add a really nice flavour to the curry once it finishes. I've got 4 here. Again, if you want to leave them out, you can do. That's entirely up to you. And I've just sliced them all the way up. And I've got here fresh coriander to garnish right at the end. And I've also got water to use as and when we need to. So let's start cooking. Right, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fry our onions, and I've got my pan on the hob. Hob setting is on a 6, which is a medium heat setting for my hob, and I'm just going to add my oil in and just give it a couple of seconds just to heat up. Right, so we're going to fry our onions until they're nice and golden brown in colour, and that should take approximately 6 to 8 minutes. and I'll show you how they look once they're done. So it's been around 8 minutes that I've been frying the onions, and they're lightly golden brown in colour, so you can see that's how they should look. Now into this I'm going to add my ginger and garlic and just give that a minute just to fry off the rawness. And into this now I'm going to add the meat, and we're just going to fry the meat for about 5 to 6 minutes on heat setting 6, just to brown it off a little. And at the same time we're going to add our spices in as well and just cook them together. So I'll see you guys back in around 6 minutes time and show you how this looks. Right, okay, so I've been cooking the meat now for about 6 minutes, and this is how it looks. Now into this I'm going to add my tomatoes. Just mix them through. And also I'm going to take some boiled water, and I'm going to measure out 1/3 of a cup of water and just add that in. So that was approximately 80 millilitres. So it's the same measuring cup that I used to measure the oil when we used it. So my heat setting is still on a 6 at the moment, which is a medium to high heat setting, and I'm just going to allow everything to just, you know, come back up to temperature. And then we're going to cook this with the lid on for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to take 30 to 45 minutes, but I want to put the timer on for 30 minutes, and I'm going to show you how it looks and how cooked it is, but it will take a little longer than that. So now that it's come up to temperature, I'm going to lower my heat setting down to a 4, which is a low heat setting for my hob. And I'm just going to pop the lid on, and I'm just going to let that cook away. So now just don't need to do anything, allow it to cook for the next 30 minutes with the lid on a low heat setting. The moisture from the tomatoes will release also. The water that we've added will also help as well to cook the meat and the onions and the tomatoes down further. And I'll show you how it looks in 30 minutes time. Right, okay, so coming back to the lamb, it's been 30 minutes this has been cooking away. I'm just going to remove the lid to show you guys. And this is how it looks. So the tomatoes have released their own natural juices as well as the meat as well, and it's looking good, but I'm just going to show you it's not cooked yet. It's not anywhere near cooked. I'm just going to grab a piece, and I'm just going to stab my knife in to show you, and it's pretty tough. So what I'm going to do is just pop the lid back on again and just leave it to cook for a further 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, and then after 20 minutes or so I'll show you what you need to do. But for now I'll see you guys back in around 20 minutes time. Right, okay, coming back to the lamb, it's had its extra 20 minutes of cooking, and I'm just going to remove the lid to show you guys. And you can see now that the oil has started to separate and come around the edges and to the surface. And now we're going to start the all essential bhuning process. Now bhuning, or bhunao, or bhunify as it's called, is a process where we cook to develop the flavour of the curry. So I'm going to turn my heat setting up to a 6, which is a medium heat setting for my hob, and whatever moisture is left in this pot, we're going to cook that out, and we're going to do that for about 8 to 10 minutes. And once this water has evaporated, the moisture has evaporated, we're going to keep some boiled kettle water to hand so we can add in as and when we need to. So first things first, I'm going to turn my hob up to a 6, and we're just going to keep stirring, and we're just going to cook this now. And the meat isn't cooked fully yet, but this process will ensure that the flavours will develop. So I'm going to see you guys back in around 10 minutes time, and I'll show you how this looks then. Right, okay, so I've been bhuning the meat now for around 10 minutes, and you can see that the onions and the tomatoes have broken down really nicely. And now we can add our turnips in like that. And again, what we're going to do is we're just going to cook these with the meat now for a further 10 to 15 minutes. And again, the same process applies, the bhuning process. Just keep the meat and the turnips moving, and just add small amounts of water in for the next 10 to 15 minutes. My heat setting is still currently on a 6, which is a medium heat setting for my hob. And I've got my water to hand, and just keep them moving, and I'll show you how they look in around 15 minutes time. In 15 minutes they should start to soften up a little and cook, and then I'll show you what you need to do. But in the meantime, just keep cooking them, and I'll see you guys back in around 15 minutes time. Right, okay, so coming back to the turnips and the lamb curry, I've been cooking the turnips with the lamb for approximately 20 minutes. I did say 15, but it went over slightly by 5 minutes, so 20 minutes. And I've been adding small amounts of water into this and cooking it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our green chilies in. So one thing to remember with this curry is that it's turnips, it's a root vegetable, and they do take a little longer to cook, so you need to be patient when you're making this curry. Now once you've added your chilies in, I'm going to add in 300 millilitres of boiled kettle water. So once you've added the water into this, all you need to do now is just allow it to come up to temperature. Right, okay, so now what we're going to do is I've lowered my heat setting down to a 2, which is a low heat setting for my hob. I'm going to cover this now, and we're going to cook this for approximately 25 to 30 minutes. So 25-30 minutes, the turnips will be fully cooked but still holding the shape, and the lamb will be super tender. So I'll show you how this looks in around 25 to 30 minutes time, when it'll be ready to finish off. So I'll see you guys back then. Right, okay, so it's been 30 minutes that the curry has been cooking away, and I'm gonna remove the lid to show you how it looks. And you can see that the oil has separated and come to the surface and around the edges as well. The meat is fully cooked. There you go. Just broke a piece of lamb for you with the spatula. And the turnips are cooked and still holding their shape as well. I'm just going to remove one to show you. So just grab one, flip it over. There you go, fully cooked. Put that back in again. And now we're going to finish the dish off, and for that all you need to do is take some homemade garam masala, which I forgot to mention at the very beginning when I gave the ingredients, but I will list it for you on the screen and in the description box. So half a tablespoon of homemade garam masala, just over like that, and then also freshly chopped coriander, and just add that in like that, and just give everything a mix. Perfect. And there you have it, guys. My authentic Pakistani Punjabi Ghosht Shalgam, which is lamb and turnip curry, is ready. I'm going to plate this up and show you guys exactly how it looks.